want to request for the social media operators, social media platforms to cooperate with us on the blockage, removal of accounts, taking AI measures to stop mirror accounts, and to share information of account holders who are operating these accounts.
What's been happening recently and what we've actually uncovered or unearthed, that Pakistan has suffered immensely, not just in terms of human lives, but also economically, and the social losses are there. We've been at the forefront of this for the past over 2 decades now, and of course over 90,000 martyrs that we've had to endure through this being at the forefront of the fight against terror. Not just this, but of course we've seen there's been a trend on the social media applications and various apps that we've seen, whether that's X, whether that's Facebook, whether that's Instagram, whether that's WhatsApp, whether that's Telegram. So all of these applications, because I think it's very important to state these applications as well. And like my colleague said, that we would definitely welcome Pakistan, but also the UN. Of course, then we have the BLA and the BLF, which has also been prescribed by Pakistan, has designated or has been designated as a terrorist group by both the United States and the United Kingdom as well. Pakistan has remained steadfast and committed to our resolve at terrorism and restoring stability. For us to highlight now the new trends that we've seen and we've faced, not just on ground, but also in the digital realm as well. And when I speak of the digital realm and these applications, a few days ago, my colleague, Senator Talal Chaudhry Saab, he'd actually highlighted how these prescribed organizations have been on not just through WhatsApp. They've been actively involved in recruiting new members. They've been actively involved in disseminating propaganda. These terrorist groups, they've significantly enhanced their social media presence. Whether these organizations operate under their own names or other various pseudonyms or acronyms, we've seen that and have been discovered, and they have been unearthed. Obviously, it poses a threat to our nation, to our citizens, but also equally, it poses a greater threat to the rest of the world. Specifically, in terms of the legal situation or the legal realm, the Anti-Terrorism Act, specifically Section 11, it clearly violates Section 11 of the Anti-Terrorism Act. It also goes on to violate Section 8 and Section 9 of the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act, but also mention the international law and the international global norms as well. That we've actually unearthed or discovered a total of 481 social media accounts on various different platforms have been unearthed and have been identified to have belonged or to be belonging to these various organizations. They have been reported by various relevant law enforcement agencies, and of course we have taken up this issue with various platforms on which these terrorist organizations or prescribed organizations hold their presence on, so that they can actually initiate further necessary action. We would urge them to not only report these accounts, but also block these terrorist accounts. We would ask them and urge them to share the information about these account holders so that we can amplify our counterterrorism operations and our strategy in dealing with this new threat. We want them to implement stricter and stringent measures, which obviously includes through, like my colleague mentioned, through the use of AI, the algorithms out there, so that we can actually detect these accounts and more of these accounts than just 481 that we've just discovered through investigative methods, through our law enforcement agencies. And also, like I mentioned earlier, and my colleague mentioned earlier as well, that we would really welcome all of these social media applications, these platforms to come to Pakistan to set up their offices so that we can have a better coordination. So we would urge them to establish their presence in Pakistan. Pakistan, of course, remains at the crucial front line as a state in the global war on terror. That there's been a spike in these terrorist activities and terrorist attacks, and our law enforcement agencies have been dealing with them swiftly. Lastly, I'd just like to reiterate that the US withdrawal from Afghanistan, of course, this means that clearly there is a resurge in terrorism for increased international cooperation. And increased international cooperation not just on ground, but also digitally and in the digital realm. So if there's any other question or any questions that you'd like to ask, we're here to answer that.
We don't want to stop, or we don't want to build walls against the freedom of speech. We want to build a wall against terrorists and terrorism. So we need cooperation, and these our request reports are all according to the laws, community guidelines which are applicable in US, Europe and other countries. There is the numbers I have given you. The all belongs to these terrorist groups and organizations which are sanctioned by UN, US, UK, and there is no political parties account or political workers account. These are accounts of jet black terrorist organizations.
The international platforms such as X, WhatsApp, or Facebook, Instagram, any of these platforms, they decide not to come to Pakistan and establish their offices. That's why we've actually, through this, we would like to welcome them to come and establish, because obviously this is a mutual beneficial thing, not just for us in our country, but also for those platforms, because there's a huge population or a huge number of users that are from Pakistan. Prescribed organizations or these terrorist organizations or groups have now chosen to engage within the digital space or digital realm. That's why it's important more than ever before for these social media platforms and applications to actually come and establish their offices in Pakistan so that we can have better coordination. We want to create a safer, secure digital space, not just for our citizens as well, but also for other citizens of other countries as well. And we cannot allow such groups to operate within the digital space or the digital realm and use this as a new method to not just only recruit, but also to carry out their illegal activities that they have been doing in the recent past.
Pakistani authorities track them, trace them, but they can't take action because they don't have details of the account holders, number one. And most of the accounts come up again as a mirror account when social media platforms did not apply AI technologies to block the accounts. They block one account, and after the minutes, the mirror accounts come up. So that's why I make two requests. Number one, share the account holders information, and secondly,